Wow. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Small bit. And of course, this is already after I already.
Yeah. Ew.
Traveling down the road, my burden with disaster. Got better to the floor, my life is running faster. Now I'm running out of hope, it looks like self-destruction. But how much more can we take with all of this corruption? We're fighting with disaster, y'all know what I mean. And when we put our lives, it makes no sense to me. I don't know about yourself or what you want to be. We've got to read the time we choose our destiny. I'm traveling down that lonesome road. Feel like I'm running the road. Yeah, I'm trying to turn my head away. Feel about the same most every day. And all I'm talking about beating down the last lane, running with friends from town to town. Both my been burning it out, can't seem to slow it down. Got better to the floor, my lives are running faster. Got a sight set straight ahead, but I need show what we're after. Work with disaster, y'all, damn sure know what I mean. You know the way we run our lives, it makes no sense to me. I don't know about yourself or what you plan to be. We can't go with the time we choose our destiny. Yeah, traveling down that lonesome road. Feel like I'm dragging a heavy load. So I'm trying to turn my head away. But with disaster every day. And you are you know the way we run our lives, it makes no sense to me. I don't know about yourself or what you plan to be. We can't go with the time we choose our destiny. Yeah, traveling down this lonesome road. Feel like I'm trying to get the road. So I try to turn my head away. But with disaster every day.
Hello. I figured that was a pretty good tune to start with. because what we're going to do is drive down the memory lane. Because certain people, all of the memories I have of them were taken by the platform of YouTube that we're on. So I figure I got to tell the story again, right? Got to tell the story of Tom Carlisle and his identity problem. Since he wants to get into my business, it's really I was talking about him in the terms of having this channel that has 600 live streams that he created about me on it. But it was more, the stream I did a couple of days ago was more about Dwayne. But he decided that he was going to involve himself in that situation and run a stream about it. And it reminded me that all of the information I had ever put out about him, the story about how we met, the story of him stealing another man's identity, the subsequent trajectory that took, why I kept talking to him after he lied to me for a year about his identity, and the end result of the whole situation is that both of the men that were involved in that identity situation have passed on. And he could not memorialize these men because he involved himself with this big, demented, fucked up mouth by pretending to be one of them. So subsequently, when one of them died, Rick Daley, so I'm going to be going into it. I'm trying to shorten it a little bit, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot about this band called Gutter Candy. And really, one of the other reasons why I was kind of thrown into it is I was watching this movie called Eddington. It's on HBO with Joaquin Phoenix. And I've only watched like the first 10 minutes of it. And what really triggered me was it's kind of about this small town sheriff and the reservation cops. And it takes place in 2020. And they were arguing with him because he was kind of a gruff guy and didn't want to put a mask on. And it really triggered me about the situation because of my involvement with this lunatic loser jerk off who's still obsessed with me, Thomas Anthony Carlisle, also known as Jarl Wiggin. Part of the reason why I couldn't initially like really do anything about my meeting him and my involvement with him was because it was COVID. And I don't know about you guys, but like that whole situation from 20 to 22, I don't know if anybody was really like outside of YouTube personally affected by it. Like nobody talks about it. I mean, coincidentally for me personally, I lost 2 people to COVID, but I lost 5 people just coincidentally. All of my elders from COVID, during the COVID time, all of my elders died at the age of 99 and 100. And you know what? You know what COVID did? It prevented me from mourning them properly. We couldn't have a fucking funeral. We couldn't have a get together in the same room for a fucking potluck memorial. I lost my best friend of 30 years to COVID. I could not mourn him. I could not memorialize him. I couldn't even see his wife and his daughter. We were like, she's my goddaughter. My grandma died. both of my godparents died, and my cousin died, who was 63. He died of leukemia, and it was quick. But he did get a lung infection, but it was like not attributed to COVID. But anyway, so the point is, I couldn't memorialize, and then subsequently, it's because of my involvement with this jerk off. Tom Carlisle, who continuously talks about me with his women. I couldn't find proof that he wasn't this man that he says he was. So here's the story. I'm going to tell a little bit of it, and then I'm going to hop over to the video that revealed to me that he wasn't who he said he was when he came to YouTube in an avatar in the Las Vegas room where I had resided since 2019, I think, with Mark and Mike Harrison and Feline and Dirty Laundry and Kelly Ann and Coffee Man and Monica, and then Kellyanne's subsequent slut trail that she had, which was Butthurt Democrat, which ended up being an old guy named Ray. Serotonin, he's an English guy named Rafe. Spanky, as he's known now. His original name was Buck Wild 65. But anyway, I was getting a lot of attention in there because of my issues with Mark. And Mark was very dramatic and always attacking me in chat. And this was before real live streaming. I was a live streamer, but not really. It was before StreamYard and all of the effects and pictures and stuff like that. But anyways, there's a lot going on mentation-wise, typing-wise. A lot of shit talking. This still happens to this day. Shit talking in 200 characters or less. So he came to that room and he noticed me, and he immediately started riding my coattails. And I was attracted to what he was looking like and what he was saying. And a Jarl is in the hierarchy of royalty. And it was weird because at the time, I tried to talk to him. I was like, one of the worst things I ever saw on TV that gave me freaking nightmares forever was that Jarl Borg on the Vikings.
My sisters were worried Mom was going to die on their birthday.
It's just called Vikings with, what's his name? Travis Fimmel. The show was very macho, like lots of dudes on there. And the stories, it was fairly violent, but the most violent thing I ever saw, which I didn't even know about in Viking lore, was a blood eagle. And they did that. They cinematographed it, or however you want to say that. And I liked Jarl Borg. He's a Swedish actor. I can't remember his name, but that was like the harshest thing I ever saw. So when I saw that he was named Jarl Wiggin, I was like, hey, did you ever see the blood eagle of Jarl Borg on Vikings? And anyway, you guys know what that is. I mean, it has to be, put to cinema or AI because it's a historical torture. And what they do is string somebody up with their arms up and then take a chisel and chisel through their spine while the person's still alive, and going through the back and separate their rib cage and pull their lungs out and throw their lungs over their shoulders while they're still alive. It's fucking disgusting. Anyway, sorry. Okay, let's move on from that. Okay, so that's where I was like, okay, what's this Jarl thing? Who's this about? And he was using a man's picture named Rick Chafee. But I didn't know it at the time. It was just some dude with a bandana, because he kept switching back and forth between this picture of Rick Chafee and a guy named the country alt Americana singer Steve Earle. So he would come in there occasionally, and he was talking to other people that started coming in there, like Miss Butterfly and Kelja, and a woman named Farragher Stern. And the room was getting really popular, and there was lots and lots of shit talk. And so I started noticing, he was doing this thing, and he would always talk about this room called Russian RT. It was Russian television or something like that. Or what was the other one?
That RT TV station was originally owned by Al Gore. He sold it to them people. I remember that going down vividly because I listened to the radio all the time. I don't listen to just Mark Levin and Chris Plant morning. I listen to other talk radio too in my spare time. Like Tom Carlisle, you claim to be a Christian. You gonna come up and fucking let's say a prayer for everybody in the world, peace on earth and goodwill towards men. Do you want to celebrate Jesus' birthday with me, Wiggin? Wiggin, why don't you bring your scrawny ass, fucking mangy ass beard up here right now? Because you don't fucking dare. You afraid I'll let Rusty up. You fear Rusty. DA fear. You guys fear this woman. I don't fear her. I respect her. So fuck you.
It's the Arab one, Al Jazeera. Yeah, all these people were coming in that room from Al Jazeera and Russian TV. Because I don't know, it got like, I don't know who decided on the political chats to say, hey, go to Vegas. Because they all started coming in. Fox 46 was a political news channel, and it's just like started being a real invasion. So he started with these stories with these chicks about how they were his queens. And he had queens from like different regions of the world, right? And that's like Miss Butterfly and Farragher Stern, who was like his West Virginia queen, and Miss Butterfly was a California queen, and Kelja was the Norway queen, and that was his shtick. He thought he was the king, Jarl, creating a kingdom. Because other subsequent bullshit that he fell into was all this bullshit about being king of Scotland and just his whack shit. Okay, so that's him as Jarl Wiggin, but eventually, because when he made these multiple accounts, he made them all for members of the band Gutter Candy. I didn't really see all of those. He kind of paraded those through because number one thing was he didn't know how to make brand accounts. He figured it out on his Jarl Wiggin account, I guess. But so that's one thing I taught him is how to make brand accounts. So what happened was that was during the time that me and Kelly started being friends. and said kind of friendly with Monica, and me and Kelly started talking more, and then her and Monica started doing the trivia streams, and they're going live daily or like very often, and eventually, I got Joel got interested and you want to come to the stream. So while we were talking on the stream, he was in the side chat, and we were like, "Hey, you guys, you should come up here on the panel, and talk to us." And he was like, "Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't have a telephone, or my phone won't connect." Or what he didn't have was a headset, so we didn't have a working microphone. So I can't remember like how it worked out. He must have asked for my email, or somehow we got into email contact. And I said, if you want to talk to these women, these people on these live streams, you got to get a headset. And it didn't occur to me what a fucking weird, retarded dipshit this was. Because at that time he had a flip phone and he was playing some casino game on it. And he had some PC or like some laptop that would always burn up or something. I don't know. He wasn't technically savvy. Let's just put it that way. I said, well, I can send you a headset to your home through Amazon. Because he didn't even have an Amazon account. This is a desert dwelling dirtbag. He still is. And he said, okay. And he gave me Ray Ortega's name. He said, put this name with the address. And I should have known, but I didn't really care because I was just sending some dude a microphone to not just for me to know him better, but for everyone to get to know him because it sounded like that's what he wanted to do, So he sent him a microphone, and then things progressed to me teaching him because I didn't speak to him on the telephone for about 4 months. We just emailed each other, and we were just emailing about stuff that was going on in chat. We weren't hitting on each other or getting into each other or anything like that, because when I met him in that situation, I was talking to Drew, and he said he was in love with the female or male troll who's never been on a stream, it's never spoke on a stream or anything, named Kelsha. So I was like, okay, this guy's like over here with this chick, and I'm like trying to talk to Drew, because the other thing was I met him and Drew at the same exact time, like 2 days apart. And I was in really bad shape because my cat was dying of cancer, and I was going to have to put her down. And again, this is during COVID, right? We're talking March of 2020, 2019. Was it 2020? Anyway, it's a little bit of a blur, and Drew came. I had to put her down. I put her down on my birthday. And, everything in the entire universe was closed down. Veterinary offices, the Humane Society, everybody was totally flipping their freaking wigs over COVID. But I had somebody come to my house. Anyway, it's my birthday. And Drew came to me and said, hey, it's your birthday. Let's do a stream. Come backstage and talk to me. And I did that, and he was so kind to me. And there was nothing panky going on. I just needed a friend. And he was on camera. He was super thin then. and he had a broken leg. So he's just sitting in a chair talking to me, talking me off the ledge because, you know, I mean, he's a stranger, but I was completely devastated about losing my cat on my birthday. But anyway, so that fact is just to say I chose him because I knew he wasn't a drinker. He said he was sober, and I could tell. And then, but not Tom. Tom was always a drunk. He still is a drunk to this day, no matter how much he protests the fact of all of the excuses he makes against the fact that he's a raging, violent, vile, sick, child abusing, woman abusing, disgusting, demented alcoholic. Okay, so I'm turning. Oh, okay, so all right, so that's why we didn't talk on the telephone from the time we met through we just emailed each other, and then like about 4 months later, he emailed me. He said, "Do you want to talk on the phone?" And I said, "Oh, no, okay, whatever. That's cool. Give me a call." So he started calling me on the telephone. Because that's when I started finding, because okay, so during these 4 months, he was saying that Desiree, the mother of his children, was his sister. I got to rewind this back. Okay, he said he addressed this package to Ray Ortega. So then he started saying that his name was Rick Chafee. And everyone, and he wasn't just telling me this in private. He was telling everybody now that he was getting more exposure on the internet. So everybody was calling him Rick. Sean was calling him Rick. I was calling him Rick. JC was calling him Rick. Everybody was calling him Rick. He told everybody that he was a guy named Rick Chafee from the band Gutter Candy. Was calling him Rick. JC was calling him Rick. Everybody was calling him Rick. He told everybody that he was a guy named Rick Chafee from the band Gutter Candy. Now, but remember, his name was Rick Chafee. And everyone, and he wasn't just telling me this in private. He was telling everybody now that he was getting more exposure on the internet. So everybody was calling him Rick. Sean was calling him Rick. I was calling him Rick. JC was calling him Rick. Everybody was calling him Rick. He told everybody that he was a guy named Rick Chafee. He addressed this package to Ray Ortega. So then he started saying that his name was Rick Chafee. And everyone, and he wasn't just telling me this in private. He was telling everybody now that he was getting more exposure on the internet. So everybody was calling him Rick. Sean was calling him Rick. I was calling him Rick. JC was calling him Rick. Everybody was calling him Rick. He told everybody that he was a guy named Rick Chafee from the band Gutter Candy. Now, but remember, nobody was gigging, okay? That would be the band Gutter Candy. There was no gigs anywhere. Everything was closed down. So I could never verify who he was. It's like, he was talking to me all the time. He'd be like, "Oh, I got a gig, in Cathedral City, Cat City or whatever." But they weren't playing. So I had to believe him. So in order to keep his story straight, he was living with Desiree, the mother of his children. And he said that she was his sister because she kept having these misadventures. She was at Morongo Casino, according to him, all the time. She was either hooking or gambling, or what she was doing was away from the family. And it was COVID again. So the kids weren't in school, the twin girls. So they got shipped off to Orange County to Desiree's sisters, Cindy's and Mike's house. So there really wasn't any anchor, for me to ever realize what was happening, because it started snowballing. And she started, one thing during the time that he was emailing me as quote unquote Rick Chafee, who we're going to meet here in a second, was that he kept telling me this story about how she was bleeding out of her hoo-ha like a motherfucker, and how he had to help her in and out of the shower, and bloody towels everywhere, and in and out of the bed. And I'm like, sounds weird. That's your sister? She doesn't have anybody else to help her with her intimate problem? You're like servicing her bloody hoo-ha, and she's bleeding profusely, bleeding to death or whatever. Like, why am I how do I get to get this juicy story? That started to make me suspicious. That's all in writing. I still have all that stuff. I still have every single email I didn't lose that. I still have every single email he ever wrote me. Because he'd get on to these grandiose paragraphs about his life and telling all the stupid shit stories about, I don't even remember. There was some blues guitarist, Jay, some guy named Jay. And, he basically, so, okay, you want to know about Gutter Candy? Gutter Candy was the band of Desiree, the woman that he said was his sister, who's the mother of his 8 kids. Yeah, he has 8 kids with her. Her stepfather, was the drummer in this band, Gutter Candy. So, basically, that's, I don't know where I'm at in the story. Oh, the suspicions, and why he lied, why he felt he had to lie. Because he was getting into a phone relationship with me, and she was hearing it because she was living at the house. So, and then their dynamic was falling apart, because look at how he is now that you know him. He was just abusing the shit out of her and criticizing her and doing all the things that he does to Alicia, and that he tried to do with me. But again, remember, he said she was his sister. So eventually one day I was on the telephone with him, and it was a big knockdown, drag out. She came back, quote unquote, home, and he wouldn't let her in the house. Or there was some sort of tussle, and she had the girls with her. She brought Courtney and Chelsea back from Orange County to bring them back to the house. But he said she was intoxicated or something. So it was a big domestic violence knockdown, drag out, because he locked her out of the house and she threw a rock through the window. And I was on the phone with him the whole entire time this was happening, right? Well, anyway, I'll fast forward. He called the cops, or somebody called the cops, and she went to jail. He put her in jail. And mind you, this is a brother putting a sister in jail, in my mind, And how all of a sudden do you get custody and get the money for these kids? Because she's gone up the river. She ain't coming back. She got possession and DV and whatever else. I mean, at that point, it was going to be at least 3 weeks before she even went to court. And mind you, this is COVID. They were only putting people in pokey if only necessary, because nobody knew what was happening. But she got taken. And he did it. And he did it so he could get the money for those little girls. And he did it because she was the leaseholder of that house that they live in still. She was the leaseholder because she got the house from pretending to be an AA. Because the people that own the house that Tom lives in, because he's a renter, by the way, were like sobriety people. So he got her in jail so he could switch the lease into his name, and so that he could switch the money that was coming for the girls into his name. So then he had to start kind of, then I was like, now the wheels are turning in my head. Like, what the fuck what's up with this guy? Something ain't right. Something's not right. Because then he started to be, then of course he was the sole provider and the sole caregiver for his disabled daughter. Because Desiree was in the home prior to all of this. But when he sent her up the river, he became number one for caring for her. And he was ill-equipped because, as he still is to this day, why he needs another woman to live in his home, because he's a fucking alcoholic douchebag bum. So I became like a sounding board, and he used his daughter in his fake identity to keep me engaged. So that was a long time of communication. So we're talking when we first started talking to about a year of halfway through telephoning, because Desiree was in jail for 4 months, and then she got out. And she got an early release because of COVID. And he she got so fucked from him for no reason, because she stuck her fingernails into his arm. She got this, like, basically her life ruined by this motherfucker, sending her up the river just to be a fucking piece of shit, narcissistic dickhead, son of a bitch, because he's a fucking substance abuser too. He ruined her life, basically. He controlled everything she did for 23 years, including spreading her legs for 2 sets of twins and 4 other intentionally delivered children.
Hey, Alpesh Patel, there's another handle you have misspelled. What the fuck? Monica Ann's HUSNAB. Did you make a mistake there and then you couldn't change the name again, or what? Acid. I've been wanting to say something, and now that you're in my chat posting, you fucking ignorant motherfucker. Huh? Yeah, I fucking banned you on here, so now I can't highlight it there, but I can still see it in my chat. Is that how you spell husband? I hate to tell you, Acid Trip, but Rusty wants me to stomp on you. She wants me to jump feet first right on your face. And I'd love to do it. I'd love to fucking just jump right on top of you and hurt you bad. I'd love to. Not saying I'm gonna. I don't think I'm going to fly to England just for your dumbass. But you're one of those out here in the internet that are talking about you're harassing people. Google should remove you.
Right? Let's see. There's Sean and Shane and Ryan and Stephanie. Oh, see, Sean, Shane, Ryan, Stephanie, Chelsea, Courtney. Oh, 6 kids. Sorry, not 8. Anyway, not 7 kids. I don't know. I can't do the math. Anyway, so he was with her for 23 years. Then he sent her up the river. Then I taught him how to stream. Then I started him on the path of riding my coattails for good. But the way I busted him from being Rick Chafee and lying to me for a year, because I called him Rick right to his face for a year. He never flinched. I've got streams that I ran where we were both on the stream of me referring to him as Rick. Like I said, he told everyone else he was Rick too. And I don't know why that fucking Canadian cunt rag was in my business, but she was doxing him. She was digging into Rick Chafee's information and doxing him for some reason or another, saying that he lived in Joshua Tree and all this bullshit. Do you want to know who Rick Chafee is? Okay, let me tell you what happened. So as he was rolling with being, getting all this assistance from the government, or Medi-Cal, as his daughter, she gets free diapers, she gets free formula or baby food, like, she gets sent stuff from the California government. So he got a delivery for a box of diapers one day. And he was on the telephone with me. And he had to sign for it. And the UPS guy said, "Oh, are you Tom Carlisle?" And he had to answer in the affirmative. But not only that, when I call his house, he had Ryan leave a message on the phone that he had already. And it was Ryan's voice, and it says, "This is the Carlisle residence." But he told me that his excuse for that was that Desiree's last name was Carlisle from a previous marriage or something. And so that's how he got away with that, without me going, why is this, who's that on your answering machine? Who's that? Her name's Desiree Jordan, by the way, because they were never legally married, just domestic partners for 23 years with a gaggle of children. Common law, if you will. So that was the day. And also, you have to understand that Rick Chafee was a public entity. Gutter Candy's a public band. Playing in the public. And so Rick Chafee was on videos on YouTube, on Instagram, in the Gutter Candy Instagram. Rick Chafee had his own Facebook. I just thought this dude, Tom, by the way, Carlisle, was him, because I never could prove it wasn't. So when I play the tapes, which I'm about to play, of Rick Chafee talking, and you realize that Tom Carlisle, even though I'm telling you all this information, this dickhead, this douchebag, never would turn on his camera. This lying douchebag. He was on panels talking, but nope, no cam. I didn't know. He sent me one picture during this time.
Can you believe I'm eating ice cream? Chocolate ice cream. You know when Jarl Wiggin is mad at you, and the reason he gets mad at you is when you don't believe his fucking bullshit. He shoved Kelja down my throat. They did it to a couple of other people. Otherwise, he wouldn't have complained about me and my cloning. I come to his chat and I was cloning his little fucking friends and some of his clones, because he does that shit. He's worse than Sebastian talking to himself in a chat. Aren't you, Wiggin? You're a little piss pot, you fucker. And you're afraid of me. That's a fact. This is the reason why he finally turned his camera on. Because of that right there. He didn't want her completely exposed, but she had already did. Everything she's saying is true because I watched a lot of it. You're chicken shit, Wiggin.
The infamous yellow shorts picture. This is him. But he sent me, because he didn't know how to take a picture with his flip phone. And about, several months into it, he told Ryan to take a picture of him. And he sent this picture to me. But if you look at Rick Chafee and you look at this picture, number one, he's wearing sunglasses and a hat. And I got catfished. I got massively, ragingly catfished by this fucking loser.
In other words, lied to.
And he took from me all of my technical knowledge to be a streamer and to...
I brought that up a long time ago. That's what got him mad the fuck at me. He thought I was never going to be on her side. You sat there and she showed you what to do. You're an ungrateful motherfucker. You really are, Wiggin. Never been in charge of anybody. You never been a boss anywheres. You're a lying, crying. You're just what you used to say JC is. I can't prove for sure that you're Travers, but I hope you're not. I hope Travers is actually a different person, a better person than what you are, Wiggin. So as you sit on your fucking ass at home collecting welfare off the state of California and the federal government, listen to this.
Against me, which he subsequently did for, what are we at, 6 years now? Still yapping about me, still sticking his nose in my biz, still fucking rusty. Because you're a complete fuck up in this lifetime. You and the internet are like the worst fucking bedfellows. You and streaming should have never met. You are the biggest, losinest, ugliest motherfucking douchebag to ever, unfortunately, cross a YouTube stream. You really are a fucking horrible human being. A drama nuisance, a drunk couch potato, fucking loser. But we're focusing right now on the fact that you stole another man's identity to use in the world of YouTube. And that man was a man It wasn't a stranger. It was a man that was known to you through your family. And in the end, when this man who was your stepfather passed away, the one that sat with you, that dealt with you, that loaned you money, that gave you rides everywhere, that advised you and patted you on the back, your very best friend, you couldn't even go to his fucking funeral because you stole his friend's identity and tried to frame me to look like some hysterical woman for telling everybody in Gutter Candy what you did to me in a fucking email to roast your asshole. Again, both of them are passed on. Both Rick Daley, Tom's quote-unquote stepdad, and Rick Chafee died of liver cancer last year. But this fucking disgusting, punk, impotent loser fucking closet case gets to live. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to Rick Chafee now. Hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the video that I found right after the UPS driver called Tom Carlisle. And I went to this video and I said, you know what? I'm a dumb shit. This guy's voice is different. Because if you listen to both their voices, I'm going to show you right now. It was hard for me to tell. Hold on. I'll leave the douchebag's picture up there so you can see the difference and how it was hard for me. And then we'll play Jarl's voice next to Rick Chafee's voice. So you can also see how a little bit confusing it was.
Yeah, what's wrong, Jersey? You okay?
And my girlfriend just broke up with me over a text message.
Oh shit, that's terrible. You gonna be all right?
I think so. I'm just hoping we can still be cousins. So, Lix, I heard you just finished your first book. That's awesome, bro. That's so awe-inspiring.
That's right. Now I'm gonna read another one.
So Memorial Day is a very special day. Do you know why we celebrate Memorial Day?
For the fallen veterans,
Like,
or for people that lost their memory.
I think it's for the people that fell and lost their memory.
At the same, yeah.
Greetings, Gutter Candy faithful, all 12 of you. Frankie Kazarian here, bass player. I just want to say I hope you're enjoying your Memorial Day, and I want to give my thanks to all that are currently serving and that have served in the armed services. My eternal thanks and gratitude to you. As you may or may not know, Memorial Day, this is the day where we wake the dead and we play our annual gig at the Joshua Tree Memorial Cemetery. Unfortunately, due to current circumstances, we cannot do that, but rest assured, as soon as we can, we will be back at your favorite dive bar, pool, hall, hell, even a backyard. You know us, we'll play anywhere. So I hope you enjoy your day. Me, I was lucky enough to get an invite from our drummer, Sin Balls, to his palatial estate, and I'm enjoying a little bit of time out in the sun and enjoying the pool. I'm going to work on a couple new Gutter Candy tunes coming your way. But thank you for all your support, and enjoy Memorial Day.
You know, Jersey, I like things that only have one purpose. It makes life so much easier and less complicated.
I agree, man. Kind of like a telephone number. Its only purpose is to dial. You know, it's not trying to save the world or get laid. It's only has one purpose.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like your penis out Viagra, right, bro?
Yeah, I'm going to use it to go pee.
So you can see how if Rick Chafee grew a big old COVID beard and put on a pair of sunglasses and a hat, how they would be the same person. You listen to Rick Chafee's voice, it's not too far off of Charles, but it is just enough that I finally figured it out because, you know, I was talking to Tom every day.
John, not John the Cougar Mellencamp?
Not John.
The John Cougar Mellencamp song?
Yeah, but I think he likes to be called John Mellencamp
John, not John the Cougar Mellencamp?
now. Not John the Cougar.
Oh,
no.
John Cougar.
Yeah,
John Cougar Mellencamp.
I think you got a bad rap with the Cougar thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if it goes by John the Cougar or John the Baptist, but I think he prefers Mellencamp.
Okay, sure, we'll do John.
But I always thought John Cougar was like
He's cool, man.
That's
He
cool.
is
They
cool.
should just drop the Mellencamp.
Yeah.
You know? What the hell's a Mellencamp?
I know what, you know, it's like he
Is
works
that
on
like
a
an exotic
Mellencamp.
fruit or something? I don't know.
John Cougar is cool.
Yeah.
That was stuff. Yeah, sure.
So
let's hear it.
yeah, Memorial Day for all you guys and gals out there. We do junk. Mellencamp.
John,
Pink houses.
yeah.
Imagine. On the flip side.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I think you catch my drift, right? Let's go to his Facebook. The dearly departed gentleman. So you can see, like, if he freaked out and grew a big ass old beard or whatever, and decided to be a, you know, I mean, they live in the same place. Palm Springs, Joshua Tree, San Jacinto. there wasn't really any way I could tell, you know. But one of the things that he didn't think about was that I was following Rick Chafee's Facebook. And the final nail in his coffin was that Rick Chafee's brother died. And I was talking to Tom every day, and I was waiting for him to tell me that his brother died. And he never did, because he wasn't him. And that's when I finally confronted him. I was like, look, dude, I know you're not Rick
Who eats
Chafee.
ice
I
cream
think
in the
you
wintertime?
are. Some guy named Carlisle. And we had a big discussion, and I was like, well, yeah, fuck you. You're out. Bye-bye. And Kai cut him off from talking to me for 3 months. Or he still was doing his bullshit in chat, obsessing on Telja, doing his queen thing, you know, and I, of course, I'm like exposing him to everyone at this point. The blind simp king. He still
Super,
wouldn't go on camera.
super simp.
This picture is the first time he ever put the camera on himself on a live stream. And I was like, well, we weren't talking at the time. Okay, so he came back to me and he said, I'm really sorry about all of that. I really want to keep talking to you. And of course, this is already after I already taught him how to stream and everything. And I don't want you out of my life. And I was like, well, you know, again, people don't understand. It's the internet. So when some people say you could just get rid of that person, it's the internet. You can cut them off. You can go no contact with them. They're only electronic. By the same token, it's also really easy to stay addicted to it for the same reasons. So he, you know, and you know, all through this time also, he was using.
Which I put my link down. Because I'm going to be leaving soon, so nobody wants to come up. That's fine. I have other things I need to do. Because I can always come back later. Bottom line is, you motherfuckers are chicken shit. Wiggin does not want to expose himself to the same thing. He's the kind of person would have you do a job he would himself never do. It says a lot about a person's character. If it weren't for double standards, Wiggin wouldn't have any standards at all. That's my close on this one. I'll see you later. Yeah, Santa Claus is a Rolling Stone. Especially you, Patrick Francis Callahan. I got your address. I got your phone number. I could come visit you anytime. I bet you'd call cops on me if I showed up on your doorstep and knocked just to shake your hand, because you're a punk motherfucker. You and Wiggin, couple of punks. Yeah, Wiggin, like I said, there's a reason you have a disabled daughter, is because of your indiscretions. You fucking cokehead. I wouldn't doubt you pimped your daughters out. We no doubt you fucking let your wife do it. Why are you going to come on a public platform and tell us all about your drug addicted fucking old lady? That says a lot about you. Fucking chicken shit, motherfucker. You're a coward, Wiggin.